sorry. I didn't even realize. Is everyone back? Can you hear me? Is it working? The CIA could not keep me offline. Correct. Correct. God, if they knew what I was doing though. Actually, they would probably let me do it.
No thanks. I choose my own destiny.
What up, James? Yes. Cool. I'm glad everyone's back. Okay, what part did I cut out at? So the possession of a single submachine gun multiplies our forces. The capture of ammunition is the guerrilla's goal in missions against commercial businesses, industries, and quarries. Obviously in Brazil in 1969. The CIA is so woke now, right? Like, they have anxiety just like me. Liberation of prisoners. The liberation of prisoners is a mission designed to free jailed urban guerrillas. In the daily struggles against the enemy, the urban guerrilla is subject to arrest and can be sentenced to unlimited years in jail. That doesn't mean the battle ends there, though. For the guerrilla, his experience is deepened by prison. And struggle continues even in the dungeons where he is held. The imprisoned guerrilla views the prisons of the enemy as a terrain which he must dominate and understand in order to free himself by a guerrilla operation. There is no jail, either on an island or in a city penitentiary or on a farm, that is impregnable to the slyness and cleverness and firepower of the rebels. The urban guerrilla who is free views the jail of the enemy as the inevitable site of guerrilla actions designed to liberate his ideological comrades from prison. It is the combination of the urban guerrilla in freedom and the urban guerrilla in jail that results in the armed operation we refer to as the liberation of prisoners. The guerrilla operation can be used in liberating prisoners are the following: riots in the establishment, in the correctional colonies or camps, action against the prisons, detention centers, action against the prisoner transport or convoys, raids, and surprise missions. Freeing prisoners, yeah, that was such a fun part of GTA. That really was. So, this one is all about here. I'm gonna send you where I'm at. This one is about liquidation. make Merle cry. So this chapter says snitches get stitches, and other types of liquidation that may happen. Can't really go into this one, but you should read it. This one is called Capture the Flag. Capture, sometimes you need to capture a spy. And sometimes it happens. I'm also not going to read this one, but you should read it. Wasn't Redkovsky mentioned in the setup to a human labs raid? I don't know. Okay, so this one's about sabotage. Sabotage is a highly destructive type of mission using very few persons, and sometimes requiring only one to accomplish the desired result. When the guerrilla uses sabotage, the first step is isolated sabotage. Hello. Sometimes you do need to find the imposter, yeah. And expel them from your ship. Post haste. Ejecting a few innocents into space is a sacrifice we must be willing to make. No, they won't be innocent. No. We will never throw an innocent person into space. Amogus. I'm sorry. It's Amogus. Why did you backtrack so hard to Sansel instead of destroying his liberal ass? I don't know what you mean. When I was criticizing him for criticizing Hamas, is that what you were talking about? No, I don't agree at all. I think that Hamas is taking the actions that they have been forced to take. I was bothering him in his chat the other day because he made like a tweet and then was like crying about it and then trying to get me to come on his Twitch and like give him content. And I was like, no, but I will like come and yell at you in the chat. I think Hamas is doing what Hamas has to do because they're fucking fighting a fucking fascist regime. Israel is creating, an ethno-state. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's no fucking both sides to this. There's no fucking both sides. Like, you need to uncritical support for Palestine. That's what I have. Fuck it. Probably not. It doesn't even seem like you even got to the first fucking page because the first fucking page says, it talks about revisionism and, like how liberals will blunt the revolutionary edge of figures, and like the motherfucker told everyone like his favorite historical figure was Martin Luther King, and the only people he doesn't agree with are revolutionary people. Like, what? Bro, I don't think you like know all of the things that you're talking about right now. Yeah. I feel like Aiko did a really good job talking to Sansul, but like I feel like Sansul's white maleness gets in the way of, and his pride and his vanity gets in the way of like actually learning some and growing for now, unfortunately. Okay. Where am I at? So, dynamite. Think about it. He also seems to want to limit his radicalness based on what he thinks is possible within his lifetime. I'm shooting for space communism. That's my goal. Let's go! Okay. Explosions. Think about that. The objective of sabotage is to injure weak points, such as the following: the economy, or maybe it's to make it a weak point, agriculture or industrial production, transportation and communication systems, military and police systems and their establishment and depots, the repressive military police system, the firms and properties of exploiters in the country. The guerrilla should endanger the economy of the country. Birds! Particularly its economic and financial aspects, such as its domestication and foreign banking networks. This is what we need to take. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to take a break from me reading, and I'm going to show you a wonderful example of that tactic damaging the enemy in this way. Praxis, Volume 1. Hold on, let me find a good one. Okay, so this one's, I don't know if I've seen this one.
Are preparing to go to the Gulf Coast Reconstruction Conference at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner near the airport.
You shouldn't drive.
Okay. Here. So it's almost like we should be saying, we are facing a state of emergency. I'm going to speak as HUD, as the Deputy Assistant of the Secretary of HUD, who couldn't make it, and CNN is going to be covering it live.
This conference was taking place on the first anniversary of Katrina. 1,000
Oh my God,
contractors
when I
who
get
were
off,
rebuilding New Orleans would be there.
When I want to watch the second video. Somebody, Satrin, can you find where we can watch the second video?
What's that?
Negan's coming, Mayor Negan.
Oh my God.
Have you guys
Mayor
know
Ray
about the
Nagin,
Yes
which is
Men?
a bit more than we expected would happen.
When we'd hatched our scheme,
They are so
we
cool.
told this guy, the conference organizer, that we represented Alfonso Jackson, the head of HUD. When the mayor and governor found out that
Ugh, you're
Jackson
so
would be
boring.
there, they had to be
Actually,
there
you
too.
know what? I agree with you. Trump probably will win in 2024. I agree. He probably will. Sad to say.
Once again, the keynote speaker wouldn't show up, but his assistant would. Would the mayor notice that something was wrong? And what would the contractors think of HUD's radical new approach to public housing? An approach that could cost them money and even put some of them out of a job.
Please join me in welcoming Mayor Ray Nagin of New Orleans. And please also join me in welcoming Renee Oswin, the Assistant Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
So it's an honor to share the stage with our two partners in recovery, with Renee Osmond representing HUD, who's definitely one of our most important partners in this rebuilding effort, and Mayor Nagin of New Orleans, whose challenges are enormous.
And I also want to stop and thank Renee, who's here from HUD. HUD has been an incredible, incredible partner with us. We are on the verge of doing some really unique things, some things that we could have never tackled in the city of New Orleans. And now we are poised and positioned to enhance public housing in the city of New Orleans.
Okay, so what's really special about these guys is they make corporations and legislators look like pieces of shit. And it's fucking hilarious. And sometimes, one time, I think it even had a $2 billion consequence for the stock market because, their actions. That is fucking praxis. That's based.
You know, there's lots of information out there, there's lots of misinformation out there. You know, and but I have a fundamental belief that truth and lie
That one was
cannot
so
stay in
cool.
the same place at the same time. Reminds me of a story I once
damn.
heard. Truth and lie went swimming one day in Lake Pontchartrain. They went skinny dipping, so they laid their clothes on the banks, and they were out there having a really good time. And then lie all of a sudden jumped out the water,
What a
put Truth's
funny
clothes on,
story to tell.
and started running down Esplanade, Elysian Fields Avenue. Truth got out the water, started running after lie. So ladies and gentlemen, what you had was a well-dressed lie being chased by naked truth.
It's quite a tough act to follow, nothing like that to make you feel a bit naked, eh?
Yeah,
Dear
they make
friends,
them own their horrific
It is with
bullshit.
the
They
greatest
do.
joy that I announce to you today a brand new Department of Housing and Urban Development. Everything is going to change about the way we work, and the change is going to start right here today in New Orleans. Until last week, our MO here at HUD was to tear down public housing whenever we could. Like many folks in Washington, we thought that the projects caused crime and unemployment. We were wrong. When we tore down St. Thomas and replaced it with mixed-income flats, only one of
Yeah.
27 former
That one
residents
was
ever made
fucking
it back.
epic.
And the rest have faced many problems, in some cases even homelessness. It just didn't work. We won't make that error again. This afternoon, we will begin to reopen all public housing projects in New Orleans and allow these Americans to be part of their city once again. But opening doors won't be enough. As you know, the main reason New Orleans was so vulnerable to Katrina was the destruction of the wetlands. I am very, very, very pleased to announce that Exxon and Shell have agreed to finance wetlands rebuilding from part of the $60 billion in profits this year. As J. Stephen Simon, Exxon Vice President, writes, ExxonMobil is earmarking $8.6 billion from revenues our company has made in this region so as to assure that ExxonMobil never again has a hand in destroying a large American city.
So he's telling him all
Ladies
this
and gentlemen,
good shit, and
we will
everyone's like
rebuild
so
not just New
impressed.
Orleans, we will rebuild the American dream. Please come join us at the Lafitte Housing Complex for a ribbon-cutting ceremony immediately after the plenary session. This is what we're all here for, so let's make it happen. Let's bring New Orleans back.
I thought it was very uplifting. This has been a big problem. A lot of people
I'm
want
not
to
sure,
come home,
Sachin.
and they have been unable to do so. So I thought it was a very positive message.
Well, very encouraging, and what's really encouraging in particular is not only getting people back home and helping them rebuild, but the recognition that we have to deal with Mother Nature, and that Exxon is going to make some significant contribution to restore wetlands. It's very encouraging.
They were all so freaking excited.
This was encouraging. When the contractors heard that the government was going to do the right thing, even though it might cost them some business, they cheered. Friedman was wrong. Greed alone didn't rule the world.
Hi, what's CBS Radio, WWL?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And this time, we'd gotten away with it. Or so we thought.
The city and the state both say they've not heard anything about this. This announcement comes as a surprise to the governor's office and the mayor's office. Why would HUD do this without consulting the city and the state?
Well, we haven't done this without consulting with them.
You have no cards. You say you're new to the agency?
I have a card, but it's back at the office. I'll get it to you.
Where is your PR team?
I'm right here. Hi.
There.
Hi, you're with HUD?
Yes, I am.
Do you have a card?
There's an entire HUD housing project there left unfinished.
Yeah. There are some saying that this is a farce, that you're not truly with HUD, and that this is not an actual announcement.
Well, they can say whatever they want. Who are these people?
Where is your office?
So what he did was he went up there and he announced all of this like amazing shit, and the whole town was fucking pumped, right? And now it's come out that he's not really like affiliated with them, and so now the company is going to have to say like, hey, we're actually not gonna do all that good stuff. And because why? Because fuck you, that's why. And the way that these two make them own, like these fucking asshole companies own their bad fucking behavior is fucking based as hell. So yeah, that's what's happening right now. Yeah, it's so cool.
Washington. Where in Washington?
He just joined the agency from France. He's
from France.
Yeah, he's been a special.
They like keep going with it until they like realize that it's like run its course, and then they like move on.
I just heard the speech.
And they just
And I have a newscast very shortly. I need to confirm if it was a real speech from HUD or not. The governor and the mayor knew nothing of it. They were shocked. We desperately need to know if this is real or not. He's standing right here, the man who's just apparently committed this hoax on your department. Okay,
This hoax on your department. They said your department was going to do a whole bunch of good stuff, and you're not.
I'm sorry?
They can say whatever they'd like.
They can say whatever they'd like. But you work for them, don't you, as a deputy secretary?
That's right.
That's right.
Now that you've been discovered, do you want to explain to me why you did it? I mean, if you're trying to make a point, why don't you come over here and tell me why you did this? All right? All right, man. I'll call you in a few minutes. But it is
That's
a hoax,
right.
a massive hoax. You just pulled off a heck of a hoax.
Thank you. I mean, I would say that, you know, HUD is going off a hoax by pretending that tearing down affordable housing is what's going to solve it. I mean, that's what they've been doing until now. This is a time when all of these people are clamoring to get back in. They want to get back into their housing, and they deserve to be there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
This guy is such a
And worth
fucking
lying to
Chad.
all these people.
Absolutely. Actually telling the truth. This is actually truth-telling where normally there would only be lies. How difficult would it be to remediate what you see here today and make it inhabitable, say, next week?
Just take off the covers here.
Yeah, that's a good start, yeah.
Absolutely.
Finally, we will be reopening public housing for the residents, for the workforce that's going to move back in and again rebuild New Orleans.
Sick, twisted, cruel. Those are all words used to describe the prank on Louisiana officials and about 1,000 contractors in New Orleans today.
I'm Deputy Assistant Secretary
Deputy
of the
Assistant
essentially,
Secretary
of,
to the
Secretary
manager.
Alfonso Jackson.
Renee Oswin can't get his title right or his relationship to HUD Secretary Alfonso Jackson. After taking the mayor for a ride, these contractors followed him to a makeshift ribbon cutting at the Lafitte Housing Project.
Mr. Oswin, you're not even on the directory of HUD. You're not even listed. You don't even have a phone number.
It's come to that, has it? It's come to that. Well, thanks for being the one to break the news.
Hannah, the Housing Authority of New Orleans, says this is simply a cruel, cruel joke.
No,
trying to give people
the
some
cruel
kind of
part-
fake hope that they were going
Fakes. You fucking asshole! All of this stuff is possible, you know? So, like, the people you should be mad at is the fucking corporations, not the dude who fucking told you some shit and you got really excited. Why did you get excited? Because those things should be fucking happening. Hello.
want to be able to move back.
It is terribly sad that
God.
someone would perpetuate such a cruel hoax and play on the fears and anxieties of families who are
Thanks for
desperate
the-
to return to their homes.
The bit this
We had
afternoon,
confirmed
too.
from HUD that he's not actually an employee of HUD. This is all a big hoax, this whole ceremony here, this whole press conference.
But I guess it's just to call their hand. It's just to call their hand. I respect this host because maybe it'll take a host like this to bring them out here to see what we going through. So it's a host what it be, a host is what we got. And I ain't mad. I'm going to eat me some barbecue.
I think what you guys exposed is the fact that HUD could do these great things if they wanted to.
All of these
Secondly, you got the-
corporations just do this stuff for money. For money, it's greed. It's fucking greed. And money. Abolish. Money.
attention of the residents, so now they're going to begin to ask, well, why aren't you doing these things? And number three, you're
Abolish
creating a
private
controversy
property.
to feed off, to organize, and to
Abolish
build the struggle
prisons.
to the next level. So in my opinion, everything y'all did was excellent.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. Those guys are fucking based. And so one of their things, they actually cost the stock market or like investors $2 billion, right? So based. Abolish the money. Okay. Yeah, abolish the Pentagon. Abolish the police. Okay. So, the object of sabotage. And so I said the economy of the country, and then actually I got on that tangent because that's you know, that's part of that. They remind me of the Mary Pranksters. Nice. I hope he got away with it. Of course, no law should prevent him from lying. Right, yeah. They would probably love to punish these dudes. These dudes also went to hang out with Julian Assange, and turns out Julian Assange is weird. Surprise, surprise. I mean, he's probably just like as weird as like me, which is a normal, acceptable type of weird. Shut up, don't judge me. But yeah, it's all on their YouTube channel. A whole bunch of like videos of the Yes Men doing like shit like that, which I like. Okay, so the repressive military police system, firms and properties of exploiters in the country. Pay special attention to foreign banking networks and domestic exchange and credit systems, tax collection systems, public offices, centers of governments, and government depots are interesting. But with a thorough knowledge of the local situation, the urban guerrilla may be able to tackle anything. Should be able to tackle anything. With respect to the transporting communication system of the opponent, beginning with the railway traffic, it is necessary to systematically sabotage. So what he says is like, take little chips away each day. Just chip away at their morale. And yeah. It's like every drop creates an ocean eventually. I don't know. Derailment of trains. Dynamite. That's a cool thing to talk about. I'm afraid of dynamite, to be honest. Train. Just remember that anything can break. Lots of things are breakable. Like things that don't look breakable can definitely break. Oil lines, fuel plants, arsenals, all things can break. Not gonna read this chapter out loud, but if you want to read it, it's right here. So, armed propaganda. The coordination of urban guerrilla activities include each armed action. It's the primary way of making armed propaganda. These actions, carried out with specific objectives and aims in mind, inevitably become propaganda material for the mass communication system. Surprise missions, desertions, diversion of weapons, rescue of prisoners, and war of nerves are all cases in point. I want this graphic on a shirt, right? Like, this is some, like, banger shit right here. Plus the publicity generates wake up to people. Yeah, James, totally. Right, Murrow. You're absolutely fucking right. You're right. Terrorist or freedom fighter depends on who has the better PR. Correct. Sorry, I'm fidgeting again. With the existence of clandestine propaganda and agitational material, the inventive spirit of the urban guerrilla expands and creates catapults, artifacts, mortars, and other instruments in which to distribute an anti-government propaganda at a distance. To distribute the anti-government propaganda. Tape recordings, the occupation of radio stations, the use of loudspeakers, graffiti on the wall, and the other inaccessible places are other forms of propaganda. Consistent propaganda by letters sent to specific addresses explaining the meaning of urban guerrillas' armed actions produces considerable results and is one method of influencing certain segments of the population. Even this influence, exercised in the hearts of the people by every possible propaganda device, revolving around the activity of the urban guerrilla, does not indicate that our forces have everyone's support. It is enough to win the support of a portion of the population, and this can be done by popularizing the motto: "Let he who does not wish to do anything for the guerrilla do nothing against them." War of nerves. So the war of nerves, or psychological warfare, is an aggressive technique based on the direct or indirect use of mass media and rumors in order to demoralize the government. In psychological warfare, the government is always at a disadvantage because it imposes censorship on the media and winds up in a defensive position by not allowing anything against it to filter through. At this point, it becomes desperate, is involved in greater contradictions and loss of prestige, and loses time and energy in an exhausting effort at control, which is liable to be broken at any moment. The objectives of war on nerves is to mislead, spreading lies among authorities in which everyone can participate, thus creating an atmosphere of nervous discredit, insecurity, uncertainty, and concern on the part of the government. The best method used by urban guerrilla is the war of the nerves. In the war of the nerves is the following: using the telephone and the mail to announce false clues, letting false plans fall into the hands of the police, planting rumors to make the government uneasy, exploiting by every means possible the corruption, the mistakes, and the failures of the government and its representatives, forcing them to demoralize explanations and justifications in the very communication media they wish to maintain under censorship, presenting denunciations to foreign embassies and United Nations in papal nunciature. What the fuck is a nunciature? Hold on.
Nunciature.
The office or tenure of a nuncio in the Roman Catholic Church. Oh. A Vatican representative. Oh, Papal. Oh, papal nunciature. Okay, that makes more sense now. I was like, papal? No. Papal? Papal. Oh god, I just checked the fucking prime case debate about Israel-Palestine. Oh no. Oh no. I fucking heard, what was I? They were saying Israel won the land. Like, bitch, you don't fucking win land. Like, you can't, that's not, we're not doing that. That is settler colonialization, and that's bullshit. I don't know who that is, but I can't imagine how it's going. It's bad. Right. Are they both sidesing it a lot? Are they fucking both sidesing? How can you both side somebody who's against like the strongest, one of the strongest militaries in the world with no fucking military? Like I just don't. And ignoring like every single thing that they're doing. Like I don't know. They're committing crimes against humanity. I heard somebody argue that there's either a one-state solution where Israel has control or a two-state solution. Bitch! What? Oh. I fucking... I like that people just think that they can dictate, like... They're like, I solved it. Why didn't anybody think of this before? There's nothing to learn from these debates, even. There's nothing good about them. Yeah, there isn't. Free fucking Palestine. There is no viable two-state solution. No. Forgetting that there's also a one-state solution that's not a literal fucking ethno-state, right? Like Palestine. How about we just call it Palestine? Yay! Forcing them to demoralize explanations and justifications in the very communication media they wish to maintain under censorship. So, like that, number 4, is exactly what the yes men do. And that's so fucking cool. Presenting denunciations to foreign embassies. Oh yeah. Exposing each concrete violation and use of violence by the military dictatorship and making it known that the Revolutionary War will continue with serious danger for the enemies of the population. The urban guerrilla who correctly carries out through his apprenticeship and training must give the greatest possible importance to his method of carrying out actions. For you cannot commit a slight error. You can't do errors, you die. You die if you do errors. Any carelessness in learning tactics and their use invites certain disaster, as experience teaches us every day. Common criminals commit effort frequently because of their use of tactics. And this is one of the reasons why the urban guerrilla must be so insistently preoccupied with following revolutionary tactics and not the tactics of bandits. So it's saying you're always to be principled while you're doing this. Like you don't just become like a beast. Keep your humanity and your morals. There is no urban guerrilla worthy of the name who ignores the revolutionary method of action and fails to practice it rigorously in the planning and execution of his activities. A giant is known by his toe. The same can be said of the urban guerrilla, who is known from afar by his correct tactics and his absolute fidelity to principle. Exactly, Quirk. The revolutionary method of carrying out actions is strongly and forcefully based on the knowledge and the use of the following elements: investigation and intelligence gathering, observation and vigilance, reconnaissance and exploration of the terrain, studying and timing of routes, mapping, mechanization, careful selection of personnel, selection of firepower, study and practice in success, use of cover, retreat, dispersal, deliberation or transfer of prisoners, the elimination of evidence, and the rescue of the wounded. Some observation on tactics. When there is no information, the point of departure for planning the action must be investigation, observation, and vigilance. Hey, Ben! What's up? What's up? What's up? We are... you like it, James? Oh, wait, hold on. I'm gonna do the thing I've been doing. Hold on. Welcome in, Ben. Thanks for the raid. Today we're going over the mini manual for urban guerrillas by Carlos Marighella, who is a revolutionary communist. He wrote this book in 1969 in Brazil when he was fighting the fascist Brazilian government. So yeah, hi. Welcome in. That's what we're doing.
It's very interesting. I'm totally into it. It looks like I got 2 raids, 19 and then 17 either way. Welcome. Can you all see me and hear me? For some reason that says my video's in the red. Dang it. Hi. Anyone here? You can see me? Okay, good.
I accidentally wore my Abolish ICE hoodie and came back from work. We'll see how my chud supervisor likes it. Ah! Oh. Okay. Yes, thank you. Back to work. Okay. When there's no information, the point of departure for planning the action must be investigation, observation, and vigilance. This method produces good results. In any event, even when there is information, it is essential to make observations to see that information is not at odds with observations or vice versa. Reconnaissance and exploration of terrain and the study and timing of routes are so important that to omit them is to make a stab in the dark. Mechanization in general is an underestimated factor, well, it was in 1969, in the tactics of conducting an action. Frequently, mechanization is left to the end, on the eve of the action, before anything is done. This is a mistake. Mechanization must be seriously considered. It must be undertaken with considerable foresight and with careful planning, based on careful and precise information. The care, conservation, maintenance, and camouflage of vehicles that were expropriated are very important details of mechanization. When transportation fails, the primary action fails, with serious material and morale problems for the urban guerrilla. The selection of personnel requires great care in order to avoid the inclusion of indecisiveness or wavering persons who present a danger of contaminating others. location and at least one to work on them, probably all three. Plus probably all three of those to move to the casualty evacuation area. Casualty management is one of the most central and vital planning tasks of any tactical operation. Yes, absolutely. Someday we'll fully reclaim piggies. Is Comic-Con here? So every casualty takes the whole fire team out of these fights, yeah. I think that yeah. Yep. Where am I? This must be accomplished by means of a mobile or motorized clinic. You can also set up a mobile first aid station. Another solution is to utilize the skill of a medical comrade who waits with his bag of equipment and in a designated house to which the wounded are brought. Like you're like making your own little hospital. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for being here, Lonesome. I'm glad you're here. The ideal would be to have our own well-equipped clinic, but that's very expensive unless we expropriate. When all else fails, it is often necessary to resort to legal clinics using. We're not going to read that one. If you want to read that, you can go here. We are not going to read that out loud. Some stuff we didn't read out loud, you know, but we always send you the book so you can read it. It's all voluntary unless you say no. In the eventuality that we fall back upon blood banks or plasma, we must not. Oh, hold on. Can't read that part either. You're just gonna have to read this one, that last paragraph you guys yourselves. Sorry, sweaties. It's too spicy. Guerrilla security. The urban guerrilla lives in constant danger of the possibility of being discovered or denounced. The primary security problem is to make certain that they are all well hidden. Oh, whoops. They are all well hidden and well guarded, and that there are secure methods to keep police from locating them. Their worst enemy of the urban guerrilla, and the major danger that they run into, is infiltration into their organizations by spies or informers. The spy trapped within the organization. Not gonna read that part. The same goes for those who desert. Oh, can't read that. Hold on, this is a bit spicy. Gotta skip over parts. The fundamental way to ensure this is to be strict and cautious in recruiting. Nor is it... Oh, Jesus Christ, what's happening? Am I still there? Like, my computer, like, freaked out. Are you guys here still? Because my thing, like, just kind of lost it. Okay. Alright, where am I at? Okay. A well-laid security means there are no spies or agents infiltrated into our midst. And the enemy can receive no information about us, even through indirect means. The fundamental way to ensure this is to be strict and cautious in recruiting, nor is it permissible for everyone to know everything and everyone. This rule is simply fundamental ABCs of urban guerrilla security. The enemy wants to annihilate us and fights relentlessly to find us and to destroy us. So our greatest weapon lies in hiding from him and attacking by surprise. I've been thinking a lot about protracted People's War, and I think last year, maybe the year, things really kicked off. Struggle is always put in terms of decades by every author I read. I'd like to hear more about that. Just wanted to say that I'm lurking here after LFB. Felt it was good to listen in on guerrilla tactics. Well, thanks for being here, Hog, and I'm glad you're for LARPing. Yes, for LARPing purposes only. No, this is just a little history lesson about, you know, Brazil in 1969. That's all we're doing, is we're learning about Brazilian history. Completely fine and acceptable thing to do. I am very into this topic for LARPing and reenactment reasons. Yes. Yes. Would you like to know more? Okay. Heavy on the reenactment. Satrin! Okay. The danger to the urban guerrilla is that he may reveal himself through carelessness or allow himself to be discovered through the lack of vigilance. It is impermissible for the urban guerrilla to give out his own or any other clandestine address to the police or to talk too much. Notations in the margins of newspapers, lost documents, calling cards, letters, or notes, all of these are evidence that the police never underestimate. Address and telephone books must be destroyed. And phones. Goddamn. 1969 didn't have these fucking cell phones. Yeah. Where do I go? Oh, my God.
The problem is that, you know, all these phones, all these fucking phones. So, yeah, I don't know. Figure that situation out, sweaties. I want to talk to you guys tonight about something special and super dear to my heart. It's revolutionary communism. Do you feel God in this Chili's? I'm sorry, I just stole a Dex thing. I love you, Dex.
Okay. It is impermissible for the urban gorilla to give out his own. Oh, yeah, I already did that shit. It is necessary to avoid keeping archives of legal or illegal names, biographical information, maps, or plans. Contact numbers should not be written down, but simply committed to memory. The urban gorilla who violates these rules must be warned the first time. And the first one who notes this infraction, and if he repeats it, we must avoid working with him in the future. The urban gorillas need to move about constantly with the police nearby. Given the fact that the police net surrounds the city, force him to adopt various security precautions depending on the enemy's movements. For this reason, it is necessary to maintain a daily information service about what the enemy appears to be doing, where they are, where the police net is operating, and what points are being watched. The daily reading of the police news in the newspaper is a fountain of information in these cases. Yeah, there's obviously better ways to track the police now. They fucking post about their crimes on fucking Twitter, bitches. Social democracy still depends on the exploitation of the global south. Yeah. So we get disappointed and discouraged sometimes, but pointing everything towards something, building it, just takes a long time with a lot of prep work. So we can take a kind of cold comfort in the fact that nothing seems to be slowing down to pacify the people. I think capitalism is past the point where social democracy can be implemented to pacify the people. It's definitely, and it has been used to pacify the white proletariat several times, but they're fucking up. They're not doing it this time. They're not doing the FDR stuff this time. They're not doing it. They're like, nah, we're just gonna say YOLO and fuck it. You guys ate too much avocado, you bitches. You got too much Starbucks. Sorry you can't afford it at home. Avocado toast adds up. Capitalism will rip itself apart even as the pendulum swings back and forth from moderate to left, moderate to left, and moderate to right, with the meager concessions to progress. But it has no end game and will continue to force people into a corner where they rise up. Would have worked on me, but they let me see behind the curtain and now I'm a fucking commie. Same. They did. And my thinking is, they literally can't. The capitalist acceleration is too far to allow it. Yeah, it's all about leaning into the cracks forming into the system. Well, they can't even, I don't even know if they see it, but like it's like they're on the cracks of the society that they themselves are digging out. And like, it's about to give way, right? Because of they're completely just, I don't know, like, but they can't fucking stop. They're addicted. They cannot stop. They can't stop. They won't stop. I don't even like avocado. I fucking love avocado. I love it. The culture was really doing them. We'll show them some fucking avocado. Hey! got the tiger by the tail, and they know it. They've got the tiger by the tail. Avocado's dope. Avocado don't, am I right? Okay. Jeb or anti-Jeb? What side of the guacamole is this chat on? I'm so confused, but if it's Jeb Bush, I'm anti-Jeb Bush. Fuck Jeb Bush. You don't think they see it, Sal? I don't know if they see it. I don't know. Like, how can they not see it? How, like, are they really gonna do this one last cash grab? Like, and then what? What do they do when the world is burning and they have all the money? Then what? When money means nothing? What then? What then? You can use that money to keep you fucking warm at night. And you can't even do that because it's all fucking electronic. It's all fucking electronic money. You can't do anything with it. Like, it's not even useful as it's Tinder. It's just a fucking, a number in a computer. Please clap. Please riot. Would you kill baby Hitler? Hell yes, I would. Jeb memes are gold. Anarchist Jeb. I really think about that too. Like, how wild would it be if the people on top honestly drink their own Kool-Aid? They probably do. Like, they probably juice themselves up, you know? Like, I gave $1 million in charity, you know, this year. Like, I mean, not to mention that you're almost a trillionaire, but like, good for you, buddy. Like, I know lots of people who think that charity is exempting you. Like, I make my money, you know, I'm an American. Nobody should tax me. Taxation is theft. I hate everybody. No fucking thanks, am I right? There was a long time ago, which was shopped into pink camo with the pink beret caption. My brother is paid for his crimes with his life. I welcome. Oh my god, I would love to see that. Just recreate it. Where's Abby? Abby makes memes like that. You like think of a meme and Abby's already made it. Oh my god. I will ask Abby in the Abby Discord. Yes, we're all Abbies now. I think the unbelievable pressure of trying to reach quarterly profit goals drives a lot of capitalists to make universally bad choices. Like, why can't we just, like, not do that? Like, the fucking thing, like, the idea that we need to grow every year in size is, like, fucking stupid. Like, why can't we just not do that? But right now, all they do is they, like, bet on, they're, like, doing speculation. They're not even, like, trying to give out goods and services anymore, right? It's all just betting. Like, the stock market is how people make the majority of their money now. They're running off instinct and anxiety like the rest of us. I don't know. I just don't know if they're like truly fucking evil, or like just so fucking blind. Like, I don't know. We should have a 5-year plan. Plus, capitalists seem to just be writing this economic system knowing they're ahead. Yeah. Like Milton Friedman. Like, okay, Milton Friedman was literally the devil. Like, I feel like he knew exactly what he was doing. There's no way you can tell me he fucking didn't. And he, like, is responsible for so much fucking damage. That one motherfucker. Like, if I could go back in time, like, it wouldn't be for Hitler, it would be for Milton Friedman. Maybe both. We'll just do both. Yeah, Milton Friedman is truly fucking vile. Like, he has to be, like, evil. Right? And I have to put morality on it. Like, I have to put morality on it. Like, you have to. When you have enough money to, like, solve, like, world problems, and you don't do it, like, I think that there's a moral failing in you. Like, I do. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't care. I know that society, like, I guess, made those people that way, but there's also fucking independent choice, like I was saying the other fucking day. I feel like, I don't know. I'm just so angry at these people for fucking over, like, the whole world, for fucking greed. It's infuriating. Milton Bradley Friedman. Also, when you choose an action, you choose all the consequences of that action, regardless of whether or not you know there were a possibility. A lot of empty bougie fucks are just coping. They have no idea what's up. So he's evil regardless, really. Friedman sort of sums up the idea that people who see evil as natural, and all nature as a sick competition. Yeah. I got a 5-year plan. Ayo! Hell yeah. The invisible hand of the free market is beating off, right? Right? Invisible hand, am I right? I like to say, am I right? It's one of my favorite things to say. Sorry. 5 years of gulag. You are right. Thank you. Thank you, Satchin. Morality is subjective, but most of it's pretty fucking obvious. Right. Like, it is pretty obvious, right? I feel like it... And Milton Friedman is probably a Christian man. 5 years of D's nuts. Ew. Hog gulag. Yes. We right? We right? PG. Hog gulag. Yes. 5 years of Bofa. Oh my god, I totally said that on Twitter the other day. They were like, they said something, straw man. They said, oh, make a straw man of Vosh. And I was like, I'll make a straw man out of Bofa. Fucking, I am a cool dude. Shut up. Don't judge me. Got him. Wrecked. Okay. For this reason, it is necessary to maintain a daily information service. Oh yeah, it says read the paper, but we can also just check their Twitter. Guerrilla security must also be maintained in the case of an arrest. The arrested gorilla must reveal nothing to the police that will jeopardize the organization. He must say nothing that will lead, as a consequence, to the arrest of other comrades, the discovery of addresses or hiding places, or the loss of weapons or ammunition. Snitches get stitches, baby. Remember that. Y'all saw someone tactically slid into the IDS DMs and deployed both, but yeah, I saw that. I saw. Oh. The 7 sins of the urban guerrilla. Even when the urban guerrilla applies proper tactics and abides by its security rules, he can still be vulnerable to errors. There is no perfect urban guerrilla. The most he can do is make every effort to diminish the margin of error, since he cannot be perfect. One of the means we should use to diminish the possibility of error is to know thoroughly the 7 deadly sins of the urban guerrilla and try to avoid them. The first sin of the guerrilla is inexperience. The urban guerrilla, blinded by this sin, thinks the enemy is stupid, underestimates the enemy's intelligence, thinks everything is easy, and as a result, leaves evidence that can lead to disaster. Because of his inexperience, the urban guerrilla may also overestimate the forces of the enemy, believing them to be stronger than they really are. Allowing himself to be fooled by the presumption, the urban guerrilla becomes intimidated and remains insecure and indecisive, paralyzed and lacking. The second sin of the urban guerrilla is to boast about the actions he has undertaken and to broadcast them to the 4 winds. The third sin of the urban guerrilla is vanity. The guerrilla who suffers from this sin tries to solve the problem of the revolution by acting in the city without bothering about the beginnings and survival of the guerrillas in other areas. Blinded by success, he winds up organizing an action that he considers decisive and that puts into play the entire resources of the organization. Since we cannot afford to break the guerrilla struggle in the cities while rural guerrillas warfare has not yet erupted, we always run the risk of allowing the enemy to attack us with decisive blows. The fourth sin of the urban guerrilla is to exaggerate his strengths and to undertake actions for which he, as yet, lacks sufficient forces and required infrastructure. The fifth sin of the urban guerrilla is rash action. The guerrilla who commits this sin loses patience, suffers an attack of nerves, does not wait for anything, and impetuously throws himself into action, suffering untold defeats. The sixth sin of the urban guerrilla is to attack the enemy when they are most angry. Definitely don't do that, because that'll get you the fucking wrath of them. The seventh sin of the urban guerrilla is to fail to plan things and to act spontaneously. The family of comrade of snitches gets swept up by pigs. Yes. The families of comrades. Yeah. You're right. Slipping on banana peels. Oh my god. Shut the fuck up Friday. Swinging on a flimsy brain. For real, James, it would. When the enemy is most angry, or when the guerrilla is most angry. When the enemy is most angry. When the enemy is most angry, do not strike. And probably you too. Probably both. Yeah. When you're too angry, you may make mistakes. when they're too angry, they may just fucking annihilate you, you know? Yeah. Popular support. One of the permanent concerns of the urban guerrilla is his identification with popular causes to win public support. Where government action becomes inept and corrupt, the urban guerrilla should not hesitate to step in and show that he opposes the government, thus gaining popular sympathy. The present government, for example, exposes heavy financial burdens and excessively high taxes on the people. Okay, so I feel like the Boogaloo definitely used this tactic. It is up to the urban guerrilla to attack the dictatorship's tax collection system and to obstruct its financial activities, throwing all the weight of the armed action against it. The urban guerrilla fights not only to upset the tax collection system, the weapon of armed action must be also directed against the government's agencies that raise prices. Hey, Pork, you're being so generous tonight. Thank you so much for donating a tier 1 sub to Hog. It's really sweet. I'll just stay in constant state of perpetual and unwavering anger. Right, Hog? That's basically what, like, the state that I'm in right now, for real. Anger makes people sloppy. It does. The side with the most funding and labor power depth can afford the most slop. True. Yes. Look at those beautiful emotes. In short, against all those who accumulate huge fortunes out of high cost of living, the wages of hunger, excessive price, and high rent, foreign industries such as refrigeration and other Northern American plants that monopolize the market and manufacture of general good food supplies must be systematically challenged by the guerrilla. The rebellion of the urban guerrilla and his persistence in intervening in political questions is the best way of ensuring popular support for the cause which we defend. We repeat and insist on repeating, it is the way of ensuring popular support. As soon as a reasonable portion of the population begins to take seriously the action of the urban guerrilla, his success is granted. And I think that that is very important to think about. Just think about that. The government has no alternative except to intensify its repression. The police networks, house searches, the arrests of suspects, the innocent persons, and the closing off of streets make life in the city unbearable. The military dictatorship embarks on the massive political persecution. Political assassinations and police terror become routine. And we know this to be true. This has happened many times before. Go to sleep then, and I can, I'm gonna be on tomorrow. If you wanna, I'd like to talk to you tomorrow on stream if you don't mind, and we can do it earlier, but you can go to sleep now. Good night. Okay. Good night. Oh my god. In spite of all this, the police systematically fail. The armed forces, the Navy, and the Air Force are mobilized to undertake routine police functions, but even so, they can find no way to halt guerrilla operations or to wipe out the revolutionary organization with its fragmented groups that move around and operate throughout the country. Good night, Hayes. Sweet dreams. The people refuse to collaborate with the government. The general sentiment is that the government is unjust, incapable of solving problems, and that it resorts simply to the physical liquidation of the opponents. The political situation in the country is transformed into a military situation in which the guerrillas appear more and more, and this is the other spelling of the guerrilla. This is the normal spelling of guerrillas. I know it's confusing because you're not like reading it, but the normal spelling of guerrillas is like what they call the opponent, and the GUE is the cool guys. It's the Chads. Who's not reading it? Sachin, are you following along? So, in which the guerrilla appear more and more like the ones responsible for the violence, while the lives of the people grow worse. So yeah, it's saying that, like, the people are gonna see who is oppressing them. They're gonna see it's the fucking police. They're gonna see it's the fucking military. When they see the military and dictatorship on the brink of the abyss, fearing the consequences of a civil war which is already well underway, the pacifiers, always to be found within the ruling elite, and the opportunists, partisans of nonviolent struggle, join hands and circulate rumors behind the scenes, begging the hangman for elections, redemocratization, constitutional reforms, and other tripe designed to fool the people to make them stop the rebellion. But watching the guerrilla, and people now understand that it is a farce to vote in any election which is their sole objective, guaranteeing the survival of the dictatorship and covering of its crimes. Attacking wholeheartedly this election's farce and the so-called political solution, which is so appealing to the opportunists, the urban guerrilla must become even more aggressive and active, resorting without pause to sabotage, expropriate, etc. This action answers any attempt to fool the people with the opening of Congress and the reorganization of political parties, the parties of the government, and of the positions which the government allows. When all the time Parliament and the so-called parties only function thanks to the permission of the military dictatorship in a true spectacle of puppets or dogs on a leash. The role of the urban guerrilla, in order to win the support of the population, is to continue fighting. Keep in mind the interests of the people and heightening the disastrous situation within which the government must act. These are the conditions harmful to the dictatorship which permit the guerrilla to open rural guerrilla action in the middle of an uncontrollable urban rebellion. The urban guerrilla is engaged in revolutionary action for the people, and with them seeks the participation of the people in the struggle against the dictatorship and the liberation of the country. Beginning with the city and the support of the people, the rural guerrilla war develops rapidly, establishing its infrastructure carefully while the urban continues the rebellion. We did it, folks. We fucking finished it. You now have read and finished the... Hold on, let's celebrate. Welcome. Good job. We all finished the mini manual for the Urban Guerrilla by Carlos Marigella. The revolutionary communist.
Yep, we did it. We fucking did it. And actually, I think since I'm already like being super spicy tonight, that I'm probably just gonna play Nick's video on. I'll show you. We did it though. I'm so proud of you guys. Good job, good job. Stay safe out there, comrades, regardless of what happens over the next few years, for real. Yes, and you too. Damn, it's done. Yeah, it's done. What did you guys think? Very fucking spicy, but I like it. Also, you guys should start, like, improving your skills. Yes. You're welcome, Sasha. I just wanted to click the anthem. Yeah, you're right, Merle. The subject matter of what seems like it should be a major focus on the left. I know, without this fucking electoralism, we're all wasting our time with this fucking electoralism. Who cares what AOC is doing? Who fucking cares about AOC putting in shit that's not even gonna pass? What's the fucking point? Wasting your time. It's all a waste of fucking time. Get a cadre, join a cadre, start a cadre. Let's do it. Let's do this stuff. We can just talk to people, you know, and like do this stuff. We should do this stuff. Let's do this stuff, please. AOCIA, am I right, folks? I really like this one.
I kind of like this one too. Pretty interesting. Whoa. Funny how nobody learned from Hillary doing what AOC is doing and what Nancy Pelosi did. Do you remember in 1990, was it 2 or 1996? One of them, in one of those fucking years, Nancy fucking Pelosi was talking about Medicare for all and how she's gonna push it, and what is it right now? What the fuck date is it? 2021? Are you kidding me? And we're still putzing around with this fucking electoralism. I will never understand. God damn it. Dex is jamming right now, and your vocoder is meshing so well. Nice. Is it still 2020? Is this hell? Am I in hell? Where are we? I don't even know the date. Hillary Clinton was put in charge of healthcare during Bill's presidency. Of course she was. Of course she fucking was. And you know what they do during a pandemic? They're like, you know what? You know what? We're gonna give you guys Cobra if you can buy it. You're welcome. It's absolutely ridiculous. The push for healthcare bill, I mean, if you had anything which you thought that you trapped in a time loop, which you thought you might want to check it out. Oh God, I'm dying. Is this 2020? Please help me. Where are we? You get him down. What does IIRC mean? I always forget. What does it mean? Just killed it by attacking her. Yeah, I remember the Clintons' elections. If I remember correctly. It's if I remember correctly, and I never remember it correctly. They talked about Cobra and pretend they're not fucking villains. On the highest story, I know. It's fucking criminal. I was pretty young, but I remember my awful excuse for father would say about the shit. What would he say? I believe Mark Fisher called it capitalist realism. We're stuck in an endless loop of rhetorical hell.
So, I think, was it Engels? I think it was Engels. But whenever he was writing, I think it was the Principle Book of Communism, he was talking about the cycles that capitalism goes through, and he said 7 years, so I don't know. Like, it was, I mean, I guess is it roughly 10 years, or is it closest to 7? Probably 7. You like that one?
How about this one? It's in a cave. I like this one actually. Like I'm just in a large auditorium. I was supposed to grow up to be broken and hollow like him, but turns out I'm violently queer and maniacally human as get fucked, asshole. Ayo! Nice. We love you, Lonesome. Your dad sounds like a bitch. He sounds like my dad, who's also a bitch. Echo. I love the Tetris one best. Yeah, that one's cool. There's a lot of them that aren't really that great. Oh my god. Ugh. Yeah, so okay. I want to show you the You got Nick, I wanna play this for you. It's very good. This is the first one I watched, and I was like, ooh, baby. Spicy. My dad border militia brainworms about 2-3 years ago before Jade Helm. Oof.
He's broken and hollow. Sounds like a beta. Oh. Oh.
Oh my god. Ew. Not that one.
And wound up choosing it over the tatters of his marriage. It's been, by my count, 8 years since any of his kids would talk to him. Yeah, I didn't really talk to my family that much either. Like, I did totally hang out with them on Sunday, and it was terrible. But yeah, that was like the first time in like a year. COVID was my friend for that reason, because I got to skip out on hanging out with all the chads. You know, they're like, you fully that's bitch. So I'm like, where are my excuses?
That one's too hard.
What about this one? Oh my god. I'm a drone now. Oh, I like that one. Hey, are you not having a good time right now? Drone cell. Borg. Okay, I'll stop fucking around. No baby voice. I thought you made a beater. You like the movie? Okay, cool. Okay. Okay. I kind of like that one. I'll put that one in my favorites. What about this one? Oh. That one's kind of weird. This one's weird too.
Hello? Oh my god.
I don't even know. Oh my god. Whoa. What am I using for these? It's called voice mod.
So it's called voice mod, and I got this stream deck as a present, which is like half of it's broken right now. It's not fucking working, but I can still click on them.
I just haven't gone through all the voices, and I just don't know which voice I like best. I like them all.
They're kind of fun. Ooh, this one's called Stranger. Yeah, voice mod. Dexter Chaco!
Dexter Chaco, welcome in, welcome. It's so good. I haven't caught your stream in a while, but I heard you were fucking vibing. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much for being here. Jeep plus Jeep equals double Jeeps. It's all fucking Jeeps. How deep do the Jeeps actually go? Jeep, Jeep, I'm a meep. Welcome, Jammy Fammy, yes. Robo Sol, yeah. What a fucking Jeep, dude. What up, Rod? Welcome in, Rod. Westbourne Baptist. Where's my favorite one?
Oh, I like this one. It's kind of emo. Because we're into Jeep. And we're trying to Jeep. So hello. All the Jeeps in our Jeeps. What you say? In Jeep up Jeep and Jeepers a Jeep Jeep Jeep. Welcome, Dawkins. Ham Boss. Westbourne Comic Con. Hello. Master Stroke. Okay, so what we were gonna do, we actually just finished the second half of the book called The Mini Manual for the Urban Guerrilla by Carlos Marighella, who wrote it in 1969 as he was fighting the fascist Brazilian regime. So it was like spicy revolutionary communist literature that we just finished reading. And now we're going to watch this video about capitalism and self-defense. So yeah, welcome in. It's good to have you. It's good to know you. Let's get started.
Put down by the very same men who say they are there to protect you. Your head swelling on the cold concrete while you can't move, while you plead for mercy, only to be met. You are not only killed, you have your very essence, your humanity taken from you. And you are devolved to a piece of cold, dead meat. When confronted by such a destiny, many of us of all skin tones, religions, and ages took to the streets in the coming days. What started off as a peaceful protest was soon met with the full force of the American police state. Unlike the anti-lockdown protests, this was not going to be tolerated by the system, by the state, and most importantly, by capital. The nature of the protests slowly evolved, and soon after, comrades rushed to support the cause, fully unifying behind the rage, the anger, and the utter rejection of double-faced apologies offered by a system that chokes you to death at one moment and offers a fake bow at the other. The whole thing obviously quickly turned violent, while many undersummoned so much debate and analysis that they believed staying silent on the topic would be, at least to say, immoral. Most people you see criticizing popular uprisings throughout the world usually do it from the comforts of their own couch. They see the world in a, cinematic manner. When you watch a film, the only context you can get is from what is shown or implied on screen. The world of the film quite literally is limited by its running time and what it insinuates came before and after the movie. Those among us who genuinely think that there is such a thing as a passive, non-violent existence see life in the same exact way. Their experiences, what they see, what they feel, what they smell, touch, and live, must be the only thing that exists, like a film. Therefore, if their lives are not directly threatened, and if their experiences aren't horrific enough, they quite literally cannot wrap their little yebony brain around what provokes violence as the last solution in so many of us. This might sound like a hell of a convoluted way to describe privilege, but no, my friend. While privilege certainly plays its part, that is not what the main point is here. These people, arguably the majority, have taken the pacifism pill by genuinely believing that there is such a thing as a non-violent state of affairs, that violence can only be defined as one person doing physical harm to another, like shooting or punching them. The experience of violence is both a matter of privilege but also circumstance. Their scope does not allow them to fully grasp the very bloody nature of capitalism, patriarchy, and racism, which are all directly intertwined by, keeping themselves afloat on oceans of blood and sweat every single day, every single hour, every single minute, from the factory worker in Indonesia to the child diamond miner in the Congo, from the soldier in Kurdistan to the impoverished black single mother in Chicago. The violence of the status quo presses its cold boot on the neck of the entirety of the human experience. Violence against capitalism, which is directed at capital and the state, is self-defense. And not only that, but in contrast to the suffering caused by the status quo every day, the anger displayed on the streets of the US, Paris, Chile, or Moscow is least to say bloody merciful. If the working class was to deal with the 1% the way they deal with us, we would make Stalin look like a fucking anarchist. There is no such thing as genuine peace in capitalism. I know
I
I'm
love
repeating
you,
myself,
Goat.
but this has to be hammered in every person's head. When your whole system is based around the idea of moralized exploitation, then how can you tell me
That
with a
was
straight
fire.
face
It was
that we are
fucking
living in a free
fire.
world? That
I
history
heard this
has
and I was
ended,
just
as
like,
Mr. Fukuyama said.
oh, baby.
Seriously, how yebeno dare you? How the fuck, you little shit, do you look at the world built on the bones of millions and look into the eyes of the grandchildren of the North Atlantic slave trade and have the actual unironic audacity to say they should just get over it? The question of whether using violence to fight violence is an unending cycle of life and death is a circle jerk petty intellectuals like to engage in. But the working class, minorities, LGBT, and trans people don't have the privilege to LARP these ideological mannerisms. Liberation is not achieved or granted. It is not gifted or earned. Liberation is taken. Throughout history,
Liberation
the working
is
class has
taken.
conceded hundreds of times all over the world to reformist offerings of capitalist governments and leaderships. Their silence was bought with different trinkets, like the welfare state, wider civil liberties, and so on. While these were great successes in the short run, and while I do not want to undermine them in any way, they were, at the end of the day, capitalism's approach to postponing popular revolt. You don't starve your pigs, you don't overfeed them, give them enough, and they'll stay calm until
Become
butcher day.
ungovernable.
In the same way, we've been fed just enough, given just enough, not to revolt. But as history has proven it, revolt and the pursuit of genuine liberation cannot be quelled, and reforms can only do so much before the entirety of the system reveals itself as what it is, a fraud. So, when mainstream ideas of how we can enact change, when material stability and monetary success is only achievable through radical competition and the abandonment of your community as you strive to the top, then violence, my tavarishi, is not only the only choice, but the preferred one. In Minecraft, of course. I don't want to LARP here like half of Twitter and tell you how pretty much any meaningful societal change is inextricably linked to the public expression of violence. But what can't be denied is one simple truth. The powerful only give when they fear. They only step back when they cannot step ahead. It is a duty not only to ourselves, but to our children, who are far more likely
The rich
to see
only
the world
step
we want
back
to live in than we
when
are,
they cannot
to never
step
question
ahead.
our resolve, to never give in to the liberal idea that passive and active violence are not interchangeable. Don't let them tell us what's severe.
There's violence in our society all the time, but it's accepted violence, like having a society that exists with people without homes. That is the type of violence that kills people every day. Lack of food is a type of chosen and calculated violence that is accepted in our society. There are many police murder of civilians is an accepted violence, but as you'll note, burning a building is inexcusable. Why is that? Think about that.
Is. Don't let them tell you what is acceptable and what is not. The time for negotiation has passed a long time ago. We have tried
All
it for
politics is
generations.
violence.
We have trusted for generations. But the working people can and will not tolerate broken promises anymore. Maybe it's not today, and maybe these protests won't do anything. Or
I
maybe
don't
they'll
remember
do in a
when
week
exactly
what
he was
otherwise take years.
charged, but when they were reading his fucking, his whatever, when they read the guilty verdict, at that same time, a little girl was being murdered by the police. So, yeah. Justice? I fucking think not. The only type of justice, the only time when we will see justice is when they abolish the fucking police. Like, there's no fucking way that police can exist and our society be an equitable one.
I don't know, and neither do you. But they have shown the most oppressed people in the richest country in the world that you can burn down a police station.
Yeah,
that
I don't
you
know.
can create autonomous zones in the middle of massive sprawling cities. That you can push back the most highly budgeted violent police force with a bunch of rocks and protest signs. It has shown us that they truly...
Yeah, somebody had already lost an eye. I'm almost certain somebody had already died. Yeah. These people, these violent fucking police are allowed to exist. But if you say, please stop, that's violence and you can't do that. And actually in some states, people are trying to make it illegal for you to even fucking film them. So they want to control it so much that you can't even film when they're abusing us. Like, that's violence. That's fucking violence.
Really will stop at nothing to denigrate and silence the voice of progress. It has shown us that our ideas aren't a simple daydream, but something we can materially manifest in the world around us. BLM and all other groups currently showing the middle finger to power have reminded
No,
all
it wasn't just France, Pain Alien. It was states here too.
of us, outside of theory, that we are what makes this fucking boat run. So how do we react to violence? We seize it. It is neither good or evil. It is a tool. Stop moralizing and theorizing around it. Just look at it as a hammer and understand that in order to build something with it, you unfortunately have to tear down what's currently occupying its space. There are times for building and there are times for...
Only 38 states allow their citizens to film the police. So think about that.
breaking. It's pretty evident we live in the latter. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what the right move is or isn't. These are very decentralized
Yeah, the French
movements
know
with
how to
very
fucking
broad sets
riot.
of demands, and even if the most radical demands are met, they will unfortunately still be inside of the spectrum of capitalism. I only hope that the reforms which do come ahead end up helping some people, but I'm afraid they'll only be smokescreens used to de-radicalize and quell current or future protests. Still, what we should take out of this, as the most important lesson, is that we have shown ourselves and power that we cannot and will not be taken for granted. The degeneracy of the Republican and Democratic Party has peaked. One is ruled by a quasi-fascistic autocratic egomaniac, and the other by an apolitical professional politician virtue signaler. The Dems kneeling while wearing African scarves is the perfect metaphor depicting the impotent nature of non-democratically ran societies. Most of these people don't want to help or instill genuine change because it would hurt their place in what we like to call class hierarchy. But even if some of them would like to stand up and maybe even introduce a new path towards,
He's
meaningful
just beating the
change,
shit out of a
they would
fucking
immediately risk
news
being defunded
reporter,
by every
journalist.
single special interest group paying for their next re-election. Mainstream politics is over. The US will last for a while longer, but in the wider geopolitical sense, its position as the only world power is coming to an end. With the incoming economic crisis, political diffusion, and gradual radicalization of the working and oppressed peoples of the world, the only thing that can stop us in the coming decades is ourselves. We must not fall for the liberal illusion that fighting back against fascism, whatever way you can, makes you the same as the fascists. Use every means you have, from the streets to using your own capital, because the alternative to socialism is barbarism. Plain and simple. Read theory, organize and support. And don't worry, Tavarishi, in the end, they will either surrender or sell us the very rope we will hang them with.
Oh my god, I have fucking chills.
Thank you, dear Tavarishi.
Hugo, oh my god. I want, okay, full disclosure, I am in a group chat with Hugo, and like, I really want to ask him to come on my show, but like, also I don't want him to say no and like leave the group chat or something. So, but it would just be me like telling him like I love him. So yeah, that's my show for tonight. I hope you liked it. Where am I going? What do you have to lose but your group chat? Marks, probably. Thanks for being here.
Atomic penetration, rapid fire through your skull. Shot it on, we're taking it back to the days of trying to lose control. Carving in a blaze of fire, raging through my bones. Oh shit, I'm feeling it. Take on, hell yeah, fuck yeah, I feel like killing it. Take on, alright, that's right, what it's like to experience. Take on, into the bag, door coming through like fuck, what was that? Hanging on over to make me feel so heated, and we creeping out, showing you jazz. Shit from below, give a shit if you know, cause even if you did, bet you keep coming back. Back for more, need a man, yo, addiction to the heat, we make beats cash. Beat until it bleeds, to death each track, epileptic sees every head we crack. Like EPMD, snapping actions, we tap energy from everything on and off the map. Oh shit, I'm feeling it. Take on, hell yeah, fuck yeah, I feel like killing it. Take on, alright, that's like what it's like to experience. Take on, shot down your throat like a keg of beer. Choke on the smoke, we in and exhale till the whole chamber is clear. That is not so fucking weird. Try to save this atmosphere, but they can't cause it's way too short.